Hi, it's Natalie again. I'm kind of being quiet because I'm hiding in my car. So my next video was by request. Someone asked me to go into a couple things about like meditation and things like that. It's kind of funny to me to hear people that they don't know how to meditate, because it's always been something that I've loved to do. So I'm going to talk to you a couple things first about before you go into meditation. If you notice, most of you that try to meditate, you fall asleep because you're too relaxed. It's kind of a skill you have to learn by practice, because your body will shut down. They actually say that if you will just pay attention to your breath, just like, and actually just pay attention to every breath you take for an entire day, you would be as enlightened as a monk. I know, right? So if you just schedule one day and just breathe all day long, that would be great, but you have to pay attention to it. Now, if you try this exercise, I guarantee you, if you actually breathe properly, like breathe big and then let it go, 99% of you are going to fall asleep within the first 5 to 20 minutes. Yeah, it's one of those skills you have to practice. In fact, most of you won't ever breathe past your heart chakra. Did you know that? No, that would hurt you, because you've learned to shut your hearts off and not feel anything because it causes too much pain. So the first step with meditation is breathing. You have to learn to breathe fully. So if you could start practicing that, just 5 minutes a day, breathing. Sometimes you'll notice, I'll do breathing exercises with somebody. I'll sit with them for an entire hour and just watch them breathe and make sure they're breathing properly. And then what happens is, in about 20 minutes into it, they usually get really, really anxious because they start pulling up emotions. And it starts freaking them out because they don't know what to do with the emotions. But if they'll keep breathing through them, it'll bring the emotions to the surface, and then they can clear them. The first time I did this exercise, my daughter, or not my daughter, but I had someone who was sitting by me, and every time I kind of doze off, she would just kind of tap me and keep me breathing. But I noticed within 20 minutes that I started getting anxiety. But then I also started noticing that my arms were going numb, and both my arms, but it was interesting because it was from my elbow down to my wrist on the left arm, and then it was just the top part of my right arm, from the wrist to like halfway through my forearm. Anyways, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me why my arm was going numb. And she goes, she was very in tune, and she goes, "This has to do with your daughter." And I just like, oh, whoa, because I all of a sudden had a flashback of rocking my daughter Natalia that passed away. I'd rock her for hours and hours a day, and my arms would go numb. And she would be in one side of my arm, and then the other side would just be a little bit. So it'd be like her head and then her whole body. So my whole left arm would go numb, and then just the top part of my right arm. So I stored the emotion of her birth inside my arms. Or not her birth, her life inside my arms. And so when I did this breathing technique, I ended up bawling when I got into 20 minutes of it, because it brought up all that emotion that I had stored after I lost her. Anyways, and so I was able to release it and be able to proceed forward. So it's a very, very, very good technique to use to start your meditation. Okay? Another thing you've got to learn how to do is shut off the brain. I know, that one's a big kicker. Most people can't even sleep at night because it keeps going on and going. So I'm going to teach you a couple things to do. First off, if your brain keeps going at night, just say, "Thank you for letting me know. I got these things to do. I'll take care of them tomorrow." The brain just wants to be recognized. It's trying to keep you on task. So if you can acknowledge it and do that, that would be awesome. Most of the time it works for me. Sometimes it doesn't if there's too many things going on. So another technique that you do, I do belief work, and it's going to be kind of hard for me to show you how to do this on yourself, but because I'm a theta healer, I can actually go into your brain when I go into my own brain, it reminds me of a computer, and I can actually shut down programs. So I can, when I go into brain, the whole thing lights up like blue light, and I can go in and I'll just like start shutting down programs. I remember my mom, she was really manic one time, and I was like, Mom, what the freak, just sit down. So I went in, and she had like 300 programs running at the same time. Your brains are like computers. How good would your computer work if you had all these files open and you weren't shutting things down? So your brain is the same way. So you have to learn to shut your programs down. A great book to teach you how to do this is The Power of Now. It's by Eckhart Tolle, I think that's how you say his name. Amazing book. That book is so powerful. Like, when I read it and I learned to shut everything down, two amazing things that happened, because I was kind of stagnant in my life at the time, is one, I got a promotion that like a few weeks after I started practicing the techniques in that book, and two, I was able to buy the house I wanted. So it really shifted a lot of things in my life. Plus it helps you meditate better and stay centered in the moment. So I would definitely recommend the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Just Google it. I think it's yellow. And then and I think he has it on audio. I ended up listening to audio because a lot of you are moms like me and we don't have a lot of time to sit and read. So the next thing I do recommend for people is the movie The Peaceful Warrior. And the reason why I recommend this movie is because it goes into a lot of different spiritual steps. It's actually based on a true story, and it's very cool where it teaches certain things, and a lot of people wouldn't get it until they've gone through some of those phases, but it's absolutely 100% correct. Just so you know, it is the steps that you will have to take to awaken. But one part of it that's really, really cool is he teaches you how to clear out your mind and just be right here, right now. The very end is amazing, what he says, because he says, "Where are you?" And he goes, "I'm here." And then he goes, "What time is it?" And he goes, "Now." And he goes, "Who are you?" And he goes, "This moment." And it's the most powerful movie. Like, for anybody who's into spirituality and awakening, it is. I've watched it a million times. It came to me. I didn't even know the movie. Like, it came to my door through Netflix, and I didn't order it. It just showed up. So it was definitely ordained from the universe. I gave it to my friend Becca, and she like loved it to death and ended up watching it 100 times. So I would definitely recommend that movie. The next thing with meditation, once you learn how to breathe, and once you learn how to stay in the moment and clear out your thoughts, I'm going to teach you a little technique where you're going to put your tongue in the back of your throat. Like back here on the soft part of your palate, okay? And the reason why I'm teaching you is this is actually a monk technique. It's a little bit of tantra. Tantra is something I'll go into a little bit later. But what this does is you're going to rub this back in the back of here. Like this. And then you see how I gulped. So when you start doing that, you actually gulp all the toxins out of your brain. So one of the reasons why you're meditating is to help ground yourself and clear yourself and things like that. But you also want to keep your brain clear of toxins. I don't know if it prevents brain tumors and cancer and stuff, but I bet you it does. It also is the manna of life. So monks are able to go long periods of time without eating because of this substance. So again, you can do that a couple times a day, or when you meditate, just kind of remember to do that to clear the brain toxins out and things like that, to keep the negativity out of your brain. Okay, so now that you have those techniques, you know how to breathe, you know how to stay centered, you are cleaning up the toxins. A lot of meditation, honestly, is just staying present. But a lot of people are like, well, what am I supposed to think of, or what am I supposed to do while I'm meditating? You don't have to think about anything. You can focus on one thing. I do a couple things. So when I meditate, first I ground myself. So let me teach you how to ground yourself. I pull well, there's a couple things I do. We're going to do the basics. I do all sorts of kundalini stuff, but that's why meditation is so powerful. When you get to a certain point, if you want to get the kundalini is like, I actually didn't know what it was. My spirit guides came to me and were healing my chakras when I meditated, and I could feel they were doing something, but I wasn't sure what it was. But with the kundalini, it's actually in the Bible about your body being on fire. You actually have to experience that state before you're actually able to get out of this dimension, just so you know. So you can go to church all day long, but unless you experience the kundalini, you're not getting out of here. So it's the power of manifestation so that you can become a god, okay? So the basic techniques of meditation, and eventually you'll work to the kundalini, but it does take time, is you're going to take energy from, basically just imagine roots growing to the bottom of your feet, down into the earth, and then you can surround like maybe a crystal in the middle of the earth. Just most of it's just your brain. So it's intent. So you intend to ground into the earth. And then you can bring that energy up. I like to imagine my body as a trunk. And then I go up the top of my head. And then I actually put branches out and imagine a tree. The leaves. Because a lot of people just do the roots. But what good are roots if you're not also getting sunlight? Because that's how, you need the upper and the below. So, then you can get nourishment or information from above, and then you got roots going below to help ground you. So that's a good thing to do when you're meditating. Another thing you can do is I create the markup body. I can't remember what it's called. But I imagine a star in the middle of my forehead. And I pull it down my body. Just imagine it going down and actually spiral it around my chakras as it goes down. And then it goes down into the earth. You're going to go about 3 feet into the earth because you actually have 12 chakras, not 7. And so I go 3 feet into the earth, and then I actually ground it and I twist it, and I imagine a silver light. That's my son. He found me in the car. And then you're going to twirl it up, spiral it up your body, okay? And then you're going to bring that star up, and then you're going to go 3 feet above your head. And again, because we have 3 chakras above our seventh chakra, which is your crown chakra. And you're going to take the star up, and then you're going to lock it in. You can kind of just imagine it locking in to the top. Oh, hi. Locking it in. You want to say hi? Yay! Hi! So we're going to lock it into the top, and then you're going to spiral it back down and have like a golden light come around and surround you. And then it comes all the way down and reground you again. So this will actually, the better you get at this, you actually, when it goes past my ears, I hear boom, 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 boom. So it actually is working. But a lot of meditation is just practice. Just breathing. Oh, hi. I don't do, a lot of people get into all the sage and all that kind of stuff. And yes, I definitely sage stuff, and I'll have videos on that. But the truth is we're moms, and we apparently don't have a lot of time to do a lot of this. But we still have to be able to integrate some of these practices into our lives so we don't go freaking crazy. Yeah, I know. Can you say hi? Oh, awesome. Okay, anyways, well, I'm gonna go, and hopefully this video is helpful. I will have, as soon as I have somebody who can hold the camera for me, I will teach you some other techniques to help you ground and stay centered and all those lovely things. But, bye-bye for now.